Hello everyone, welcome. My name is Todd Smith and I am a Senior Product Manager at Datapipe, and you are currently watching one of our 5 and 15 webinars. In these webinars we try to cover a relevant topic in the cloud industry. We take 5 slides and 15 minutes of your time. So with the clock started, let's jump right in. Today's topic, we're going to be discussing the Azure Public Cloud, and specifically the managed services that Datapipe provides our customers related to infrastructure as a service on Azure. And the challenge we're going to discuss is one in which the public cloud solves for customers. Hardware purchasing and provisioning causes inertia in business. The time it takes to purchase hardware, provision those machines, rack and stack them, really causes delays in trying to transform into an agile, modern business. The benefits of the cloud are quite clear here. No infrastructure, no provisioning of machines, and customers trying to move to this paradigm can benefit greatly. The challenge is getting there. Many organizations understand they need to be there, but how do organizations get there? And that's how Datapipe can help. So some of the scenarios that we see and we encounter with customers are really in 3 different categories. The first is born on the cloud type of applications. So these are the newer agile applications that customers might be implementing. These would be applications that were designed and built specifically to deploy onto Azure. Gartner refers to this actually as a Mode 2 type of organization that's employing these types of applications. The second bullet point there are migrations. So all large enterprise organizations have some sort of legacy or dedicated infrastructure. And one of the tasks that they're trying to accomplish today is looking at some of these legacy systems and determining which makes sense to migrate to the cloud. So that's one area where we're assisting customers. And then the third is data center consolidation, or alternate IT transformation. So they're trying to transform their IT operations in some sense. Data center consolidation is one use case there where they might have data center or server cabinets spread all over the world, and they want to consolidate that into a couple of different cloud locations. All right, so the effect of not being able to execute on their cloud strategy, one is it will delay some of this business transformation that they're trying to accomplish. Delays in this transformation translate into competitive disadvantages versus their competitors that might be executing better. Another effect of not being able to appropriately adopt the Azure cloud is you'll have some organizations that they might make an attempt, they swipe their credit card, they get some servers, some VMs up and running in Azure, and realize that trying to manage hundreds of VMs in the cloud is pretty hard. It's hard to design these services properly. There's constant changes that are happening on Azure. So how do they keep up with those changes? How do they ensure that their their systems deployed on Azure are designed and working properly? So the solution, Datapipe, we describe our services in and around the motto of plan, build, and run. All right, so how Datapipe can assist, we'll engage with customers, and our process really starts with the requirements of the customer. So, for example, in a cloud migration type of scenario, we'll engage with the customer, understand their environment, understand their applications and workloads that they're interested in moving to the cloud, and perform an analysis of those workloads. We'll then design a migration strategy and a plan for them to execute. That translates into build, and the build process is, at a high level, executing on the migration plan from the plan phase. The advantage that Datapipe brings is a wealth of expertise in and around data center and cloud operation. We have engineers that span the traditional IT fields, IT roles. So if you think of network engineering, system administration, database administration, storage engineers, these same skill sets can be employed in Azure. Now, the services differ, but those fundamental concepts are really the same. You have compute, storage, networking that, especially for the mode 1 type of scenario, as Gartner describes, where it's reliable IT, and I have a system that I wanted to essentially lift and shift into the cloud. Very similar work skill sets that we can employ. For those customers that might be in that mode 1 type of scenario, trying to embrace Agile or are born on the cloud, we have our professional services team that can engage with them, design what automation is required, and we can employ those automation skill sets from our automation team to help them in their adoption of a DevOps type of environment, a DevOps type of workflow. And then so finally, once the environment's built, Datapipe has dedicated account managers that work with the customer to help them manage the life cycle of their cloud deployment. So the cloud, in terms of life cycle management, is similar to traditional systems. There's a life cycle, there's a time span, there's a lifetime for systems in the cloud. It's much easier to manage those in the cloud, but they still do require management. So one of the things we put in place for customers is an escalation action plan. So in the event that there's an outage or a server is unavailable, we have a comprehensive monitoring platform, our own proprietary platform that actually spans a customer's environments. So one use case there, for example, is many of our customers are not all in on the cloud and shouldn't be. They have dedicated infrastructure in a Datapipe facility. So we call this hybrid IT. It's very well known scenario, and we help many customers with this daily. So a monitoring platform that spans those environments is very valuable. And so we put together a solution action plan based on the monitoring that we could complete and the alerting that's a part of that. And in the event that alert is triggered, our dedicated account management team will execute on the plan that's geared toward that specific alert. It might be notifying the customer. It might be taking steps with the infrastructure ourselves. All right, so the value here to the customer is, at a high level, they're able to either create a cloud strategy, which we can help them with, or they're able to execute on their cloud adoption strategy with a trusted partner that has a wealth of experience in this field. Some of the benefits that they can expect is flexibility and scalability. Datapipe was early to embrace the public cloud for our customers as a managed service provider. We're very unique in that regard in the field. So we recognize that the public cloud, Azure, is a tremendous resource that our customers can take advantage of. Scalability is a huge aspect of that. So if a customer has a need to scale either based on seasonal workloads or workload spikes, it's one of the great benefits of the cloud without having to purchase capital infrastructure costs. All right, so enhanced security. This is one of the core competencies that Datapipe brings as a value proposition to our customers. We have a dedicated security team ensuring that systems that are designed and implemented in Azure are secure. We have security services that we can employ, from log monitoring and intrusion detection, some of the traditional security services that you'd expect from in the data center. We can bring to Azure and manage those on behalf of the customer. Cost optimization is another area that we can bring some tremendous value to customers. With a usage model, customers enjoy the benefit of only paying for what they use. Some of the challenges with that is sometimes it's easy to have infrastructure deployed that may no longer be in use if you don't have some automation rules in place or you're not monitoring your usage. So cost optimization becomes it's a new and interesting challenge in this usage-based model versus some of the capital expenditure models of the past. So another great advantage is we can analyze a customer's different environments. So let's say they have a on-premise dedicated infrastructure environment. They're interested in moving to the cloud. We can analyze the costs of each of those for them, do a comparison and contrast. Once they have made that move to the cloud, we can analyze their usage, help them with optimization. We have extensive knowledge with Microsoft enterprise agreements and the new cloud service provider platform. So we have different payment models that we can use to fit the customer's need. So in short, the Datapipe Managed Cloud for Azure, it combines the flexibility and scalability, I'll also say the availability of Azure, of the Azure Cloud Platform, with Datapipe's award-winning support, our monitoring and security services, and our suite of managed services. All right, so I think we've hit our time there. I appreciate your time for listening to this presentation, and if you do have any questions, feel free to reach out. I can be reached at this email address, tsmith@datapipe.com. Feel free to post any questions to hashtag DP5and15, and I'll look to provide feedback on Twitter. And we have a couple additional resources here as well, blog posts that might be of interest. All right. Well, thank you very much for listening. This has been a Datapipe 5 and 15.